Good evening, fight fans, and welcome to another episode of JF Boxing TV. The gloves are up. First episode of 2022, and I'm delighted to welcome on heavyweight sensation, the one and only Mr. Otto Wallin. Otto, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No worries. How did you have a good Christmas and New Year?
Yeah, it was not too bad. I caught COVID right before Christmas, but it wasn't too bad for me. I've had it twice now, actually, but it wasn't too bad. I had like 4 days of kind of mild symptoms, a light fever and a dry cough that was hurting my chest a little bit, and a sore throat. But after 4 days, I started to be better, so it was not too bad.
So how long did it take you from getting COVID to getting back into training then?
Well, I started having symptoms on Monday. On Friday, I didn't have any more symptoms, so I went on a light bike ride. The day after, I went biking again, outside, of course. And then Sunday, I did a little bit of weights, and then I tested negative on Sunday, so then I started training again. But I started the first week very slow and not too heavy.
And what's it like?
I felt fine.
Good. What's it like being in New York then? I know that you're a Swedish man in the beautiful city of New York. What's it like training in day-to-day in New York and working with your trainer and the lifestyle in New York?
Well, it's great. I love it here. I've been here for over 4 years now. And, I have a really good life here. It's great, actually. I love the city. I love being here. And there's a lot of boxing, a lot of sparring, a lot of big fights to go and watch. So it's really exciting to be here.
You've not picked up an American accent as yet, I can see.
Yeah, I don't know if I have. I don't think so.
Right, so let's talk about the boxing. You know, last October you were due to be in a fight against Dillian Whyte that never come to fruition. There was a few sort of Chinese whispers about why the fight might not have happened, but you were rearing to go and ready for that fight. You must have been highly disappointed that fight didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, they canceled the day of when I was going to fly out to England. So very disappointed, of course. We was done with everything pretty much in training and stuff. I had my suitcase packed and I was heading to the airport. And then I got a call saying, hey, he has an injury and we're going to see a doctor tomorrow. So don't get on that flight. So it was disappointing, of course.
And since that day, has there been any sort of talks about the fight being sort of rescheduled? Have you been in communication with Eddie Hearn at all?
Not me personally, but my team has. My promoter, Dimitri Salira, he's been on them since this happened. And we've been pushing for the rescheduling of the fight, but it's been pretty clear from the first day that they have not been interested in that.
Okay. It seems from like a boxing spectator's point of view, it might seem highly strange that the fight was cancelled on the day that you were due to fly out. I mean, your only defeat has come against sort of Tyson Fury in a 12-round war, which you could have most probably won that fight if things would have gone different on another day. Do you believe was a legitimate reason for the cancellation, or do you think that Dillian might have got a little bit edgy towards the back end and thought, you know what, I don't actually fancy this?
You know, it's hard for me to say, and I'm not really allowed to say too much either because I don't want to get in trouble. But all I can say is we haven't seen any evidence at all of the injury. So he might have been injured, he might not have been, but I can't say too much, to be honest.
Okay. I mean, everybody remembers you for the 2019 fight against Tyson Fury, where you made your mark, 12 rounds. What a great fight it was. Pure warrior, showed a lot of heart, proved your boxing ability as well. What was it, just going back and flashing back to that fight and the memories from that occasion, your experience of that fight, Otto?
I mean, it was great. It was a huge step up for me. I had never been on that level before. And it was, sort of a dream come true to fight the world. I mean, he wasn't the world champion at that time, but he was considered that because he only lost his title because he was inactive. But So I mean, it was a dream come true fighting Vegas and a huge name with Fury, and something that I've been dreaming about since I started boxing. So it was a great experience for me, and I nobody really thought that I was gonna do anything in that fight except my team and my family, pretty much. But then it was a great fight, and with a different referee, different doctor, they probably would have stopped it because he had some really bad cuts.
Before you stepped in, you was a massive underdog. Did you always believe in your heart of hearts that you would take it right to the wire?
Yeah, I mean, you can't be 100% sure, but we knew that I was good, and I felt that I could do it. But since I had never been on that level, you can't be 100% sure. But we were very positive, and I was confident going in the fight. And I liked the fact that I was the underdog too, because I didn't have any pressure at all on me, and I felt that I could just go in there and give it my absolute all, and that's what I did.
And in terms of your sort of skills and development, Otto, how much do you feel that you learned off the back of that experience fighting the Gypsy King?
I think I learned a lot from it. Just to have the experience to go 12 rounds with him, and then, like I said, I had never been on that level before, so to get those 12 rounds, and that was a huge experience. The whole thing, mentally, physically. So I feel like I've learned a lot from it, and then I've had another 2 years of training and 2 good fights, and I feel like I'm just improving. I feel like I'm growing into a real heavyweight now, and I think that I'm starting to reach my real potential.
And at that point, how much did your life change off the back of that epic performance?
It changed a lot. It gave me, more security in my life, and then on top of that, I mean, my boxing stuff just really took off in that fight, and people know about me now. There's a lot more opportunities coming my way, so it really changed a lot.
I mean, from boxers' point of view, do you feel that you might be a bit of a banana skin for these athletes, boxers that are right up there, challenging for titles? We can't say that Dillian Whyte didn't want the fight. It may have been legitimate. It might not. We don't know. Nobody knows. But are people ducking you, Otto, because they're afraid of what you might become?
Yeah, I think it's I'm a little tough spot right now. I'm a good fighter, and people know that now, and I'm a threat to anybody. But they might see me as a big risk and not as a low reward. So big risk, low reward. It's not great. So I just got to keep working, keep fighting, and get better and better, and go higher on the ranking. So there will be more reward for these guys to fight me.
And if Dillian Whyte's out of the question for a future fight, looking at the heavyweight division and where it stands at the minute, we've got Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, Usyk. There's many heavyweights out there that would be a great challenge for you, and it'll make a great fight. What other names in the heavyweight division would you be fancying a go at in 2022?
Those guys that you just mentioned is great names. I mean, there's a lot of good names out there, and I just wanna get better and climb the rankings and eventually position myself to get a title shot. So any of those guys that can get me closer to a title shot, I'll fight them. And I think I'm ready for it, and I'm at a high level now. So it's just go in there and handle business, and as long as it makes sense, I'll take the fight. And I've shown already that I'll be ready to fight anybody. I fought Fury on, not the longest notice. I have maybe 6.
You back?
Hey, yeah, somebody called me. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm ready to fight these guys. And Luis Ortiz fought the other night and against Charles Martin, and last year we're trying to make both of those fights for me, but couldn't make it happen. And then the Dillian Whyte fight came, and we jumped on that. So I feel like I'm shown already that I'm willing to fight these guys, and it's gonna make sense.
Did you expect in the 2 years since fighting Tyson that you'd have a bit more activity than what you've had?
Yeah, yeah. I think part of it is, boxing politics, but also the COVID pandemic has made it harder.
Okay. So last fight of 2021 was Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker, an epic battle, 12 rounds, went right to the wire. What a fight it was. I was witnessed it ringside. It was absolutely cracking. Maybe Otto Wallin, Joseph Parker next year.
Yeah, that could be a good fight. And I know that he's highly ranked, so it would be a perfect opponent for me to get up there. And that was a good fight. Tough guys, both of them. I mean, Chisora showed a lot of heart. I felt like Parker maybe could have got him out of there, but Chisora is very tough, and he's slick too and smart. And I felt like every time he was hurt, Parker kind of let him survive. I'm not sure.
How would you nullify and beat somebody of Joseph Parker's ability? I mean, what kind of strategy would you implement in the ring, Otto?
I mean, he's been beat before, so we already know that's possible. But without giving too much away, I would have to use what I'm good at and try to neutralize what he's good at. And I feel like he's a pretty fast guy, a decent boxer. But I almost feel like he used to be faster when he was younger, and I feel like almost he slowed down a little bit. But he might have put on some more muscle and maybe punches a little harder. But he just lost some speed, and I feel like speed is very important for him with his style.
And your training camp in New York, I mean, just talk to me a little bit about sort of day-to-day activities, your coach, and how much you've developed in the past sort of 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, I've been with my trainer now for 8 years, Joey Gamache. We met in Denmark when I was training there, and we were there for 4 years. Then he decided in 2017 to move back to New York, because he's from here. So I followed him here, and we've been keep training. Right now, we're training at a gym in the financial district called Bout Fight Club. So we're in there every day, working hard, and it's great when we have big fights. Like when I was gonna fight Dillian Whyte, we had a lot of great sparring. Some New York guys, some people came in from out of town also. But it's really good to be here. It's great. Sparring is so important in boxing, and I'm happy that we have that here.
And a question that I always ask my guests, I mean, what inspired you to take up boxing in the first instance? What was your kind of inspiration behind wanting to lace up the gloves for the very first time?
Well, I had my father used to be a boxer, and he was a trainer, and then also one of my older brothers, he used to box. So I think that steered me into it. But at first, I did soccer, ice hockey, and stuff like that. And when that didn't work out, I went to boxing, and that was much better for me.
I think you made the right choice, mate.
Yeah, I think so too, because I was a lot on the bench in those other sports.
So massive year coming up for you. I'm guessing you want to be as active as possible. I'm guessing that you want to get on these big matchroom shows. You want these fights against, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora, these big fights, these big pay-per-view fights. I think you've earned your stripes, Otto. Surely 2022 is the year.
Yeah, I think so too. I really hope that I'll be kept busy, because I only fought one time last year, and that's not enough. I gotta fight at least 3-4 times a year. I want to do that because I want to get better, and I want to rack up the experience. So I really hope that I'm gonna be able to be more busy this year, and I should have a fight in maybe early February. Yes, stay busy fight just to get a fight, but I'm ready. I really just want to fight. I like the training, but the fighting is what drives me.
And when you lace the gloves up in the gym, I mean, how far do you realistically think you can go now? Do you think you could win a world title? Is that the belief in your heart of hearts?
Yeah, I think so. I always thought that since I started boxing, and I came really close to beating Fury, especially with the cuts. If there was, you can just look it up. You see that it's really bad cuts that he had, and just another doctor or referee would have stopped it. It didn't happen that way, but hopefully next time. One judge had it 8 rounds to 4, and considering that I only fought 1 round in 18 months before I fought him, and then I'd never been on that level before. It's a big accomplishment, but I know that I can do better, and I think I can become champion.
I know that you and Tyson Fury had a couple of words after the fight. What did he say to you?
He has gave me credit pretty much, and he mentioned my father that had passed away a few months before that. So he seemed like a really nice guy, Fury, to be honest. And I know he's a character too when he wants to, but when I saw him, he was a really nice guy. And I mean, we both had respect for each other after going 12 rounds like that.
And I bet you definitely love the rematch.
Of course, yeah.
Good stuff. Otto, it's been absolutely fantastic having you as a first guest on JF Boxing TV. Have you got any sort of final words at all, mate?
Yeah, I want to say thank you for everybody that's following me. I get great support from the UK and Sweden, of course, where I'm from, and everywhere around the world. So I'm really happy about that. But I really see a lot of people from the UK on my, comments on my posts and stuff. So that's really exciting, and I really hope to come fight there because I feel like the UK fans are absolutely one of the best in boxing. I think I only been to one pro show in the UK. It was in Sheffield when Kell Brook fought one time, and the atmosphere was great. So I can't wait to come back.
I think off the back of that fight and making the statement that you made and the sportsmanship that you showed, I think you're a bit of a hero in everybody's eyes, Otto. So I feel honoured that you came on the show, first guest of 2022, and thanks for coming on JF Boxing TV.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope to be back soon.
Lovely, Otto. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.